Group revenue at 64.5 billion is up 5.7%, with a strong contribution from the acquisitions. 5 divisions reported revenue growth. However, the contraction in maize export volumes, renewable and adcock sales eroded the overall organic growth to 1%. Our gross margin was lower at 27.6% compared to 28.3%, mainly due to a change in mix across the divisions. Expense control was excellent, with expenses increasing 5.1% and impressively only 1.8% excluding acquisitions. Our expense margin remains relatively stable at 18% compared to 18.1% in the period. Our 3 isolated headwinds, being zero maize export volumes, lower renewable and adcock sales, unfortunately neutralized the organic and acquisitive growth, resulting in a flat trading profit of 6.3 billion and a trading margin decline from 10.3% in the prior year to 9.7% in the period. As indicated earlier, 4 of the 6 divisions reported profit growth, and our offshore operations now account for 25% of profits compared to 22% in the prior year. Cash generated by operations was excellent, increasing by 18.4% to 4.5 billion, and our balance sheet remains strong with our gearing levels unchanged at 2 times, notwithstanding the additional 4 billion capital deployed for acquisitions. Returns have tapered due to capital deployment on the back of flat earnings, and so we've delivered a 37.9% ROFE compared to 40.9% last year, and a 14.4% ROIC, which compares to 15.5% in the prior year. We still remain comfortable that our ROIC remains ahead of the group's weighted average cost of capital. In relation to overall earnings, group headline earnings per share increased by 2.8%, with the associated group normalized HEPS up 0.6%, and on a continuing basis, HEPS was down 1.1% and normalized HEPS down 0.4%. Lastly, in line with our dividend policy of 2 to 2.5 times cover, the group declared an interim dividend of 470 cents per share, which is up 0.6% on the prior year. And lastly, on this slide, I'd like to talk to succession. Our CFO of the Services International Division, our largest division in the group, Trevor Screws, who's been in the group for 34 years, retires in December 2025. Divisional CFO positions are key positions in the group, and as always at Bidvest, we're ahead of the curve in relation to succession. So I'm happy to announce the following changes. Craig Turnbull, who's the current Divisional CFO for Commercial Products, has been promoted to Divisional CFO, Bidvest Services International, effective September 2025. Anthea Myatt, CFO Security and Aviation Cluster in Bidvest Services South Africa, has been promoted to Divisional CFO, Bidvest Commercial Products, effective September 2025. These promotions are a natural progression for both Craig and Anthea, who've both been in the group for 14 years and 9 years, respectively. I'd like to wish both Craig and Anthea all the best in their new roles, and to also thank Trevor for his contribution to the group. On growth CapEx, I'd like to highlight the following projects that have been approved. I must reiterate that the timing of these projects falls outside of the current financial year. Firstly, 185 million was approved for fuel tanks in Richards Bay, and these are on track for commissioning in the first quarter of the 2026 financial year. Secondly, 120 million has been approved for the construction of a multi-purpose container depot and an import warehouse facility in Walvis Bay, Namibia. Both these projects are expected to be commissioned in the third quarter of the 2026 financial year. Lastly, 30 million has been approved for factory expansion in our water business. This will increase our water purification and bottling capability for the 2026 financial year by about 60%.